On a huge honour to have Dr. Harold Kandler. He's a retired dentist. He made Aliyah from the United Kingdom just a few years ago here to Israel, and he's going to share an amazing message which he shared over for Yom Hazikaron in Times of Israel article and something for Yom Haatzmaut. It's a huge honour.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you once again, Rabbi Michael, for inviting me to speak. Mazel tov on the recent bar mitzvah. We are now here. It's night time. It's Yom Haatzmaut in Israel. A very special Yom Haatzmaut with the war still going on. To quote Rabbi Yehuda Michel in this week's Torah Tidbits, when we say Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, we have to say it with meaning. I'm going to go back to what I said this morning at a ceremony for Yom Hazikaron here in Ramat Beit Shemesh. So the thoughts are random. I apologise, they may not, but they're all my thoughts on the day. Today, Yom Hazikaron, we remembered over 34,000 lost heroes and heroines. That's a number that would fill the Teddy Stadium in Yerushalayim and more. I remember going to Har Herzl with my family in the beginning of the 2000s, and the size of it is just horrendous. After a couple of hours, we were still looking at graves from 1948. So many tragedies. The memory of the Dakar submarine memorial has never left me. We remember today people like Eli Cohen and Ron Arad, whose bodies have never been returned, as well as Daniel Perez and the other victims of the 7th of October. We hold the Red Cross absolutely responsible for their lack of help. We remember the picture of Rabbi Hillel Unterman, captured in 1973 in the Yom Kippur War with his Sefer Torah. How when the Red Cross left, how he was massively abused by the Egyptians, even tearing his tzitzit off his body. There's the film you may have seen called Cast a Giant Shadow. It's the life of Colonel Mickey Marcus, who helped with the fledgling Israeli Air Force Army, and through his efforts the Burma Road was built, helping with the siege of Yerushalayim. I'd like to mention a man called Boris Breslov. Boris was a patient of mine, and after the Second World War, having been a pilot in the RAF, he heard that ex-Nazis were going to help the Arabs. He said, that was it. I'm coming to fly in Israel. Baruch Hashem. He survived the war. When I go to Shaarei Tzedek or Hadassah in Keren, Shaarei Tzedek, you see a table in there sugared an increasing number of pictures of members of staff who've given up their lives in the army for us. In Har Hatzofim, it's a mural on the wall. It just gets you every time you see this. My dad Zatzal always talked about Tagot forts, the one in Latrun, which didn't mean anything to me till I actually went there, and you see how this fort overlooks the whole area. Why in 1948, after 3 failed attempts to try and take it, to open up the road, over 160 casualties. Most number of them in the third battle were so ill-equipped, they were Holocaust survivors, they never stood a chance. When you go to the museum, it is so important. Maybe on another video I'll talk about the special tanks that were there. I first came to Yerushalayim in December of '67, mere 6 months after the war, and those burnt out vehicles you saw, which were so-called armour plated, they weren't. They were just tough and steel. I just recently found out that bullets could penetrate and then they would fly around inside. They were absolutely lethal. We think of Ammunition Hill today and the battle to take that and the ensuing loss of life. I know it's not Yom Yerushalayim today, but I would urge everybody to go on YouTube, look at Uzi Narkis, filmed just a little bit before he died, and the capture of Yerushalayim. But today we remember the victims of Sbarro and other terrorist activities. Again, maybe we'll do another video on that. I grew up, my father learning about the Etzion block, never realised there's a whole place called the Gush. If you read Rav Goren's biography, you'll see all about the retrieval of the bodies, how they were brutally murdered and left, and then also how he got the bodies back from Latrun. This was part of his speech that Rav Goren gave to the troops in 1967, to let him know the Jew haters that the troops are fighting. It hasn't changed in all these years. They're still out to kill us. But today, we remember our lost heroes and heroines, we honour their holy neshamot, and pray there will not be any more karbanot in the future. Am Yisrael Chai.